My name is Michael Rutherford. I'm calling in from San Diego, California. Excited to have everybody on the line with us tonight. We've got folks calling in literally from all over the world outside of the United States, and got a lot of really great information to talk about tonight. This is our third or fourth week in a row on a webinar series that we're calling Playbook 2.0. We're doing a live event coming up in Dallas, Texas in about 30 days, just in about 30 days, where people are really going to get a chance to see a deep dive into this entire new mobile conversation. And as we covered things tonight, visually in both things that you hear, you're going to be blown away by really just how big the mobile conversation is. I've got a chance to, in just a couple of minutes, to introduce a great friend of mine and a big-time global business leader. And he introduced me to the mobile story just a few years ago, and I didn't realize it was as big as it is. The world today is not changing. It's already changed. If you go backwards and think about all the other technologies that we've all participated in, even going back into television and radio and print, going back 100 years ago, think about how people got news. Think about how people got sports scores. Think about how people found out about, let's say, an election, or think about how people just found out about anything in their life. It was controlled by a particular company or a particular news channel or a particular printed newspaper. Then the radio came out, then the television came out, and it completely changed the world. But in the last handful of years, we've watched this massive shift of trillions, and there's a few things taking place. And as we dive into this tonight, I want you to be real conscious of, as a consumer or as a customer, noticing these shifts. One of the things I would ask you a question as we kick off is, how far from your cell phone are you right now? Chances are that your cell phone is either in your hand, against your ear. It's certainly not more than an arm's length away. So these technologies have just completely gone through a cycle. It started with print, went to radio, television, and then in the 90s there was a company called Hotmail.com. A lot of you are familiar with Hotmail. You used email. You still use email. I had Yahoo going all the way back into the mid-90s, and my brother had Hotmail. And I remember, like it was yesterday, the first time we all got on email, it was like freedom. We could chat with people around the world on a website, through an email system. And then that gave us the ability to start engaging with people through email. Well, Hotmail built such a large audience of eyeballs, they understood where real value was way back in the day. Value was in eyeballs. Value was in building an audience. Value was in the ability to communicate and connect with people. They sold the company for over $400 million 18 months after they launched it. And then you watch people go from communicating via email to the social networking phrase that came on. MySpace really led the way in the early 2000s, 2003. 2 years after they launched, they sold to Rupert Murdoch for over $500 million. And then that triggered this, just this craze over the last handful of years where Facebook came after them. Today they've got a $65 billion valuation. And then it really created this mobile craze where apps have just completely lit up all over the place. And whether you play them or not, whether you know people that do, Angry Birds today has got about an $8 or $9 billion valuation. So what they've understood more so than any industry is the value of a set of eyeballs. And as you continue to watch this, movement away from traditional media into what you could call new media or mobile social media, where people are connected through social communities on their mobile phones. We're going to spend the next 20, 25 minutes, no longer, and really give you a kind of a broad stroke conversation about what mobile really looks like, what mobile engagement really looks like, but probably more importantly than that, the ability for people to be able to capitalize on it. And what's so fun about that is, as the world continues to change and the world continues to evolve, everybody in the globe is getting smaller. It's getting tighter. Facebook these days has got over 1 billion people on their community. And just 8 years ago, that company was just an idea. So I've got the pleasure of introducing a great friend of mine. I've known for a handful of years. I've known him professionally and also personally. This guy, over the last 20 years in business, has become a massive thought leader. One of the things that, to me, has been really exciting is being able to watch people from around the world come to him for advice, come to him as a strategist. You can think of some of the best teams in the world, and they got great players, but really what makes a great team is a coach that organizes the players, somebody that understands talent. And Brian's known all over the globe as a guy that can put teams together. He can go out and cherry pick the right talent and maximize those people's abilities to build a great team. I've watched him do it in the mobile industry for the last 3 or 4 years. I watched a video of him in New York City in Times Square talk about eyeballs, and I absolutely was hooked on everything he was saying. So I'd love to welcome to the call that's going to walk through some of this conversation, a great friend of mine and an awesome global business leader, Mr. Brian Underwood. Brian, you with us?
I am here. Can you hear me okay, Michael?
Yes, sir. You sound great.
Well, great. It's great to be online with everyone. And like Michael said, we are going to keep tonight's overview very simple and quick. And really, the purpose of the call for all of you calling in is just to give you some perspective of, really what's taking place in the market. And a lot of times you hear, business leaders talking about trends. But the reality tonight is we really don't want to focus on trends because we're going to be talking about something that it's not a trend, it's a mainstay, just like Michael was sharing with each and every one of you. And I know that we have quite a few people that are on the telephone line that are anticipating the rollout of a new enabling technology that we previewed a month ago in San Diego, and we're going to be previewing again at our Playbook 2.0 event in Dallas, Texas, where each one of you that are not only on this call but actually in Dallas, Texas, will have the ability to be connected and help us roll that out as our system goes live and our rollout process starts there in Dallas April 12th. And we're going to be talking a little bit more about that. And so for any of the guests that are on the line, want to just quickly give you a little bit of backstory. But before I do, I just want to remind all of the guests that hopefully you've had an opportunity to see some of the high-level presentations that we've done at the playbookevent.com. If you haven't, please make sure that you get an opportunity to visit it, because I think it'll give you a little bit more insight on what's taking place in the world today. And I think if you, like me, you're an entrepreneur, you're constantly looking for where those growth markets are. And that's where I was when I was in the middle of Times Square, as you see on the screen right now, about 4 years ago. And I was evaluating, where are the growth markets going to where we can participate, but not only participate, but where as entrepreneurs we can generate income from. And it hit me because it was, common sense. But what I realized was, common sense just isn't so common today. And I think everyone on the line would agree with me. And it was in the middle of Times Square when there was, the advertising capital of the world and billions of dollars of ads taking place all around me. And as I looked around, no one's eyes were looking up at the billboards. But every single person's eyes, they were looking down at their mobile phones. And that's when it hit me. This is the space that we have to participate in, because as we are going through this shift of trillions, the audiences are all on their mobile devices. That's where their eyes are. And if we can go where the eyeballs are and we can become a major player, in terms of developing and building those audiences, we truly have the ability to generate a tremendous amount of revenue and be what I call the linchpin in today's market, because that's how companies today are valued. And, you want to think about, trend. I think that we understand this isn't a trend. It is mainstay. And, as they elected a new pope just yesterday, this is a great visual of helping everyone understand and, how fast technology is driving the markets, and how us as consumers are now becoming the creators of new content, of new media. You are now the news. You are now the radio, meaning when something happens, you're able to capture it first. Take a look at 2005. You see maybe one cell phone in the entire crowd. In 2013, when they elected the Pope, everyone was capturing that moment. And so, today, what we're really talking about is a cultural shift that is happening. And not only is it happening, but all of us have participated in this mobile movement. And the key question that we want to remind each and every one of us is really to understand, how we can get in the middle of that movement and participate. Because where we have all been over the course of really the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years is we've driven and we've powered some of the biggest movements that our marketplace has seen. The unfortunate thing is we haven't been rewarded for allowing these companies to tap into our social influence, allowing companies like Facebook and Twitter and Angry Birds and Boxer and Instagram and Pinterest. All of these companies have become wildly successful because they have been able to leverage your contact base in your phone. And so I truly believe that we all can agree that this isn't a trend. It's not going to happen. It's happening. And today, when you take a look at mobile media, we had the opportunity to establish ourselves and build a company that is one of the most recognizable companies in text marketing, where texting today is still the gateway into the mobile marketing revolution. But the next frontier is something that all of us understand, and that's apps. There's over 40 million today, a new statistic, 40 million apps per day that are downloaded. The rate of apps being downloaded has surpassed the rate of music that is being downloaded from the iTunes store. And so if you really think about the growth rate of apps, the growth rate of mobile apps is up 92%. And that's something that I can relate to. But more importantly, as we all know that you have an app for whether it's an app for entertainment, an app for working out, for grocery shopping, for communicating, they have an app for everything today. But here's what I want you all to keep in the back of your mind is, how do you hear about a good app? And so, we're talking about leading up to Dallas in April, and that's really why I wanted to come on the phone tonight, is to invite each and every one of you to Dallas, Texas, April 12th, because we're going to be launching an enabling technology that gives us the ability to see the impact that we have in today's market by creating a ripple based on referring people to what we like the most. And it really started with this conversation of apps that we started having 15 months ago, and realizing because there's so many apps and they have an app for everything, that the app distribution model was broken. Because it's not like we go out and we app and we find the perfect app that we want and we download it. Search and discovery is broken in the app world simply because how we hear about apps is based on word of mouth. You hear about an app, then you search to find it, you discover it, you download it, you like it, and guess what you do? You share it. So it was very common that we could create a new perspective in the market by rewarding the people that were driving these companies. And that fresh perspective started with really understanding gamification, gamified mechanics, or gamification. And for a lot of you, you were able to participate last week when Jim Bunch really gave us a deep dive into what gamification means. And gamification is really about driving behavior for the consumers, about engaging consumers, number one, and number two, creating loyalty by making it fun and giving what people want, and that is recognition and rewards. So how about this for a fresh perspective? How about you download an app, you refer a friend, and you earn a reward? The entire concept that we are releasing, and a lot of you have seen a sneak peek underneath a very, very big tent that we're releasing coming, in April, May, and June as we start this rollout sequence that we go live with, in Dallas, Texas, is based on this very simple perspective about earning rewards, and some of those rewards you can redeem for what? For cash. I mean, shouldn't you get the influence that you have in the marketplace? And what we want to do is create not only transparency, but reward people for what they're currently doing. And so like I said before, this is really just a simple presentation for everyone to give you a glimpse of what mobile disruption is about, because that's what we're talking about. This is no longer a fad. It's not a trend. It is big, big business. And every company around the world and every individual uses mobile. What we want to do is help educate people at the Playbook event. We want to help educate people how you can have a vehicle to participate in the movement that is already taking place. So you can learn the trends. You can learn about mobile marketing and how people are using mobile marketing and companies are to drive sales, to drive engagement. We want to develop a mobile community by really showing people what they're currently doing, and that is team building or connecting easier and quicker than ever before. And then, once again, the mobile engagement piece, making it fun. Because at the end of the day, it's truly about having fun. And that's what some of the biggest companies in the world today have truly understood. But if you just take a look at some of the statistics, you get the business that we're talking about. And this business isn't going flat, it's going viral. There's over 400 million smartphones predicted to be over 2 billion smartphones around the world in 5 years. How would you like to have a business that has a platform that every single person has access to, but you're part of the process of driving the audience and the platform that creates the audience on those mobile phones, but now it's the audience that's getting rewarded for the platform we create. And so we're very excited about what's taking place right now is we right now are in an infancy stage, or what we call stealth mode. For some of you that are on the telephone line, you've been asked to sign a non-disclosure. The reason for that is because we want to have the first mover's advantage. I've talked about this several times as I watched the Facebook movie just a few weeks ago for about the third time, and it's called The Social Network. And as I watched that movie, I related to where we are today in this process of us releasing a brand new environment that we believe transcends a lot of different markets in today's world. And our whole goal is to show people the impact that one has and the impact that they can have by spreading their ripple effect throughout the world. And so what we want to do is we believe it's not only a billion-dollar play, but we believe that it's a billion-dollar play because we're putting people back in the equation. That is the game plan. But as I was watching that movie, it dawned on me. The first thing that Mark Zuckerberg did is he went into a stealth mode. When he was developing Facebook and developing that platform, he wanted to have first mover's advantage. He didn't want to give everyone an understanding of what he was doing until he was ready to release it to the world. And that's where we're at. The reason we have shared it with a handful of inner circle players is because we know how important it is to have an impact in the market once we release it. And it's the same thing that Mark did. I mean, think about it, they marketed it to an inner circle group of people that were, the tastemakers in the community, the Harvard students, the college students, and they wanted to keep it cool. And that's something that we've trained on over and over again, is the fact that we want to do something different, something that, has never been seen and never been done, but we want to do it by creating the right culture because we believe we can impact the market. And it doesn't have to be because of a heavy-handed sales pitch, but the reality of it is it can be because it's what's happening now. It remains cool, and it's a conversation that whether you're 18 or 68, we're all already having, and people want to participate and have fun in those markets. And so this is truly a community that's powered by people, and a result of Mark staying true to the culture he wanted to create and not selling out for cheesy advertising through Facebook. He created a movement. And if you create a movement, guess what happens? The money's always going to fall in place because the movement is bigger than just one person. And so that's what we're looking to do, and we've invited a handful of people that we know and we trust, and we know that they have influence, that they understand the big picture of what we're doing. And this community that we're all a part of right now, it's about being powered by people and rewarding the people. So what you're going to learn at this Playbook event is you're going to learn some of the inside strategies of what some of the biggest companies in the world are doing. You might also hear from some of the leading experts in those specific fields. I know that at our first Playbook event, we had some strategic advisors of ours, friends of ours, like John Carter, who owns a app called Mogul. He just did a major partnership with Virgin Airlines and Richard Branson. We also had another strategic advisor that we've been working with for the last 4 years. He's the guy that created Google AdSense. His name is Eitan Albaz. And as we've been, not only working with them, but a handful of other high-level people, the thing that we've learned is the bigger the vision, the bigger the game, the bigger the players and resources that step up to help guide that process. And the reality of it is we want to share with you new ways to engage and to profit from that engagement, new innovative ways of transactions to where it's not a heavy-handed sales pitch. However, it's transactions that are already being made because those transactions help make your life easier through what? Through the touch of a button on your mobile phone. We also want, through those engagements and transactions, to create fast global distribution because today the world is very, very small. We can connect, engage, and communicate quicker and easier than ever before around the world. But now it's your turn to not only power that level of connection, but it's your turn to profit from it. And when consumers truly can create content on the fly, just like they do today, where you now have the ability to be the content creators in the world and also the creators of new movements, you need a platform to move those products through. this neutral platform is going to give you the ability to do those things, and you're going to understand how that power is in your hands today. It's just like the power of the news. Think about when the asteroid struck Russia just a few short weeks ago. Where did they get the footage from as the asteroid was striking the grounds and hitting the buildings? It was from people just like you that had their mobile phone on. They were able to see it coming in as it hit the earth, and they were able to immediately publish that content to YouTube. Well, that content's valuable content. That content should be rewarded based on the ripple effect you can create with it, A, or B, new products that introduce to the marketplace. It gives you an outlet to share those with the world. So, you know, this is all about powering people. It's all about you. It's your turn. And again, we truly want to make sure you get all your answers needed in order to capitalize the market that you're in. I think it's time to they're posted on the playbookevent.com. Right a little bit more part of and and so one of the things that is exposed to everyone that's going in is that this isn't about going and getting that a bunch of risks good or anything of that nature. This is really an event that we believe we want to create value to you. So educating and the ability to be a part of an intro, we don't carpet and velvet rope. We are going live with our game process and able to grow with sharing community the rest of the world. The big thing for I know that we're almost sold out in the event, so that you get ready, that you get back with the individual that put you on the phone call here. You can learn a little bit more detail than that. Just see some of the impact.
Hey Brian, it's Michael. Your phone signal is cutting out pretty bad. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Say something again.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. No. Hey guys, thanks for being patient. You got to love these mobile phone signals, huh? Based on the screen, what Brian's talking about is the event in Dallas is the event in Dallas is going to be an event you definitely do not want to miss, and you want to reach back out to the person that invited you to this call. There's some promotional codes for tickets that, or there's some, the website playbookevent.com is a place where you can pick up tickets, reach back out to the person that invited you to tonight's webinar to learn about the event in Dallas, and then also stay plugged in and connected to future calls and future webinars that we do. This is a part of a series that we've been doing for the month of March, and we will continue straight into Dallas to, you know, to drip on folks, to help people get their arms wrapped around this conversation. Like Brian said at the very beginning of the call, this is a very small sneak peek under an enormous tent called mobile. And for those of you that can continue to plug into the calls that we do and the webinars that we do, and view the recorded webinars that are on playbookevent.com, and then definitely make it out to Dallas.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Brian, you sound great again.
Okay, great. Well, I apologize for that, and you know, I'm going to go ahead and I appreciate you filling in the gaps there, Michael. And you know, for everyone that's on the call, definitely look forward to seeing you in Dallas. And you know, we feel very blessed and privileged to have an incredible team. You know, not only working on this event, but working behind the scenes of creating a platform and vehicle that we want everyone to plug into. So, you know, with that being said, hopefully you see what we see, you believe what we believe, and you want to participate. with us and helping achieve not only an awareness in the market, but more importantly, the transparency that us, the people, need to be rewarded for the impact that we're making and the ripple effect that we're creating. So with that being said, Michael, I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And for everyone that's calling in, thank you so much. With that being said, talk to you all soon. Look forward to seeing you in Dallas.